And as we count down to the grand state dinner, let's also take a moment to discuss how all these engagements are a reflection of the growing ties between India and the United States. Have a look at the scale of Prime Minister Modi's engagements. He led a Yoga Day event at the UN headquarters, the biggest global forum in the world. He was then accorded a ceremonial welcome and a gun salute at the White House, an honor the Bidens have given to only a few world leaders. And today, he will address a joint session of the US Congress for the second time, an honor that has only been given to the likes of Winston Churchill and Nelson Mandela. And lastly, he will sign a slew of agreements pertaining to defense equipment. The first one is a $3 billion deal for the procurement of 31 MQ-9B drones. It was cleared last week by New Delhi. An official announcement will be made following Prime Minister Modi's talks with the President, Joe Biden. The second deal is the manufacturing of the GE F414 jet engines in India. And this one has been agreed upon by India's HAL and America's General Electric. This deal will make India one of those rare countries that can manufacture jet engines indigenously. And besides this, India and the US also organized the Indus X conference. That is part of the India-US Initiative for Critical and Emerging Technology. The aim of this conference essentially was to take forward India's defense technology partnership with the United States. It was a grand event attended by business leaders and innovators from both the countries. Now, what do all these developments really tell you? That India and the US are trying to build a defense partnership that is substantial, substantive, and also sustainable. You know, a partnership that is of considerable importance and a lot of worth. A partnership that has a firm basis in reality, and a partnership that can withstand the test of time and a series of hurdles. Both sides have been eager to do this in the last 2 decades. However, the priorities have differed. And if I speak of India, it was hoping for a genuine transfer of technology and joint production by loosening the export controls in the defense sector. And on the other hand, the US has generally called for raising caps on foreign direct investment in the nascent Indian defense industry and also reforming its complicated defense offsets policy. And this has stopped the two sides from taking any big steps. So all previous initiatives and foundational agreements have not really yielded any major result. But this time, things are looking very different. Thanks to ISET, the Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology, it's been touted as the latest roadmap to overcome the obstacles when it comes to obtaining critical US defense technology. And this initiative is also beneficial, of course, for the United States. It is presumably seen as a helpful policy to wean India away from its dependence on Russian defense equipment, especially now, against the backdrop of the Russia-Ukraine war. And back in India, observers say this could be just what New Delhi needs. With Moscow, its biggest source of defense imports, overwhelmed by the war in Ukraine, many in Delhi fear India's defense needs could get jeopardized in the near future. Simply put, the US is promising to step in, could be a win-win defense partnership for both Washington and New Delhi. Across now to Voice of America correspondent Jessica Stone, who has been tracking all those developments right here at the White House. Hi, Jessica. Good to have you with us on the broadcast. Let's just first talk about the symbolism that is attached to this crucial state visit of the Indian Prime Minister to the United States. We've already seen the exchange of gifts happening, which is one of the ways in which a state visit stands out and is different from other official visits. Tell us more about the takeaways that you're picking up at this point from the discussions that have already transpired.
Well, perhaps it's fitting that a prime minister who's so prolific with selfies would get a patented image of one of the first cameras by the Eastman Kodak company. Certainly, Prime Minister Modi is larger than life on social media and highly photographed as a leader. And so perhaps that was part of the White House's motivation in extending that particular gift to him. I think another point to make about the gifts, Molly, is that Robert Frost is known for quite a few quotes, commonly known colloquially in the United States. And one of them has to do with taking the unorthodox path in life. He is the author of a poem called The Road Not Taken. And one of the lines out of that poem is, I chose, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by. And certainly this relationship has had its bumps and its divergences, but now both of these countries are taking a road together. And so there's a potential bit of double entendre there in terms of giving this gift to the Prime Minister. But it's also a huge part of American culture to have that author and the original signed piece extended to him. As you have seen, there were about, by estimates from the Secret Service, about 7,000 to 8,000 Indian Americans on the South Lawn for the welcome. We have just seen them come by, streaming through to leave afterwards. On the way in, we saw buses and buses of tour buses to carry all of these people to the South Lawn. In my experience covering the White House, this is probably the largest gathering of anyone
coming at a
I've
time
seen
when
there. Yes, it's very significant.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just, 7,000 to 8,000 people on the South Lawn is not something you see every day here in the United States, much less for a visitor. And I had noted previously that, Prime Minister Modi did not hold one of those large Modi rallies that we've previously seen him hold in the United States, where you saw upwards of 20 to 30,000 Americans coming to them. He had them in Houston. He had them in Madison Square Gardens. But this was, a much more difficult thing for him to invite them into the White House. And he made those remarks where he said, the doors of the White House are open not only to me, but to India as a whole. And certainly the Indian diaspora in this country feels very strongly about this leader and having him, welcoming him. And many of the deals in terms of the people-to-people ties that are being extended between these two countries, it's worth noting, Molly, are going to affect those Indian engineers, those Indian technology experts, the H-1B visa holders. The United States has announced that it is going to unveil a pilot program wherein they can renew their H-1B worker visas without going abroad. And that's not only a tremendous savings of time and money, but really an effort to keep those workers in the United States for a longer period of time, working for the likes of Google, Amazon, Tata, and other major technology companies, to keep these two countries working closely together on technology, using their people essentially as the currency of the relationship, which is something we will see underscored time and time again during this visit.
Indeed, Jessica, we are coming back to you as and when now we have further updates coming in. Jessica Stone has been tracking all those developments and getting us the minute-by-minute updates as far as this crucial meeting is concerned. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.